What do you actually have to do to become competent as an architect? The NCARB competency standard number 2 is evaluate existing project conditions. Looking at what's actually there to begin with before you even start the project. You've done this before. Think back to when you were an architecture student. One of the first things you did was site analysis. You went to the site, you studied the terrain, you looked at all the possibilities. Understanding the site is the key to starting the project. Assess existing site and building conditions. Pretty straightforward. You got to be there to do that. You make a site visit. Evaluate project feasibility based on budget, schedule, constraints, and risks. You have to be able to understand what is the budget, what is the schedule, how does the site stack up to those requirements. Assess how a project aligns with planning and zoning policies in place and impacts the broader context, the neighborhood, the community, the environment. So now you got to look at the big picture. So what you can do right now, of course, is find out what those requirements are. Look at the policies, the zoning that's in place for that location, and be part of the programming process where you talk to users, you talk to the community, you find out what does the community actually need. We still have to do our due diligence as designers of the built environment to understand its impact on people who live there, on the physical environment. There's so much in this that you already know how to do. So take advantage of those skills, that knowledge you already have, and put it into practice. Visit the site, do the research, and involve yourself in understanding everything about the context.
So what do you do if you can't visit the site? Maybe you're not assigned to that project, but you still want to learn. You can do a few remote assessments of site conditions. First of all, check Google Earth and find that site. You can start to look at street views from Google Maps or other mapping software. Find out if there's a topo survey. If somebody has already done a topographical survey, then you can start looking at the terrain, studying the terrain for unique characteristics that should be called out. But being able to see a visual is really important. So photos that other people have taken, or street views, or Google Earth views, you can see a little bit more about what's going on there. And the nice thing about Google Earth is you can get some terrain from that too. You can start identifying if views that you thought were there, looking at it on a flat plane, were actually obstructed. Just studying it will help. It's not going to be the same as actually visiting the site. But when you're constrained, you're not actually on that project, so your boss isn't going to let you go visit that site, then take it upon yourself to do that study remotely.